Here is a mind-blowing chart. Elon was out talking about the massive problem with illegals in this country and what they did to ransack the Social Security funds, which is our fund. That's our money. We pay good money into that. It shouldn't be handed out to illegals or foreigners who are not from this country. And this was an interesting exchange yesterday. Elon was out in Wisconsin. If you're in Wisconsin, make sure you're voting. Vote. Drag everybody you've ever known or met or loved to go vote in Wisconsin. But here is this exchange explaining we were almost on the verge of our entire country dying.
And I'd like to welcome my friend Antonio Gracias to the stage. I think so. Does it work? I can give you mine. Does it work? It'll be okay. Buzz Aldrin's still alive, and he went past the bells.
It'll work. Is this working? Yeah, it's on now. Yeah.
There you go. So, Antonio, can you tell us what Antonio is helping out with the Social Security. So just trying to review Social Security, where you may have heard that we found 20 million dead people marked as alive in the Social Security database. This is so crazy. And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah, so let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
I want to talk about a lot of it.
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, 270,000 people goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that point in this direction. I want to honor them right now. They work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on.
Shout out to those heroes.
So I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people.
Our government hero heroes.
I have been from DC to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325.
No.
Or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release your recognizance, and they give you an NTA, a notice to appear, which to appear to judge.
Yep.
The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people. Okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we map the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document.
Okay, so just to be clear, you get a ticket, basically, okay? It's like getting a speeding ticket, just a little administrative offense from the federal government. He's going to cite you and basically release you OR, okay? Basically, their entry into the country, the due process that America gets, that our country gets from the people who are hired to protect our country and to keep these people out, is they give them an administrative ticket. Come in. That's a penalty. That's you broke our law. You're in trouble. You're going to see a judge 6 years from now. That'll never happen. So good luck. And by that time, they won't show up and it's all gone. So that's as much process as we get. Okay, some Border Patrol agent just looks at a dude and just says, come on in, administrative ticket, gang, whatever. That's as much process as we get. So if on the way out, okay, we find that same person and we say, oh, you know what? We're going to have somebody sit down with you and have a conversation with you and do just, even if you spent 5 minutes investigating that person, where'd you come from, all those things, probably more than what happened when that person cited and released them. I mean, name, ID, have any ID on you? No. Okay. Tell me your ID, give me a fake name, whatever, and come into the country. Fake name, no ID, no way to track that person down. That's as much due process as we got. And I'm in favor of, in fact, providing more than that on the way out. Like, I'm not in favor of just rounding people up and pitching them over. We should have conversations with them, talk to them, check them, validate that they're not U.S. citizens and all of that, which is exactly what Trump is doing. They're not just pitching people out of airplanes, but that is more due process than we got. Why should we afford them full-blown judicial hearings? We already see it's 6 years out. That's the whole point. They don't want us to deport people. They want us to just add them to the bureaucratic wait list, and we're not going to do that.
You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
Wow.
This is worth just reiterating. It's not, people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep. They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Wild.
Look, if I hadn't seen this myself, I'm not sure I believed
close.
it. I went through it myself and mapped it, and Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found 1.3 million of them already on Medicaid, as an example. We've gone through on every benefit program we went through, we found groups from this particular group of people, this 5.5 million people in those benefit programs. And then what was really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to vote in this population, yes.
And who did vote?
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote. And we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already, that's already happening.
Unbelievable that we were on the precipice, man. If they would have won this election, this would have continued for another 4 years. And they were doing it to steal this election, right? This was the plan. We can't win in 2024. No way. We have Joe Biden at the helm with Kamala Harris. We're done. So we have to change the demographics of the country. And they were doing it as quickly as they could. And we had cowardly, backstabbing Republicans like Langford who were out there trying to ensconce their grift and their theft of our country in the law. Those people are horrible representatives of America and much worse. So amazing developments. We are so grateful for Elon and the team and all of the tech bros and sisters who are in the federal government helping to bring this reality to the surface so that we can all see it. But as it happens, I do hope that they're prosecuted. Anybody who is stealing from us needs to be prosecuted and deported immediately.